Okay, gather round. It's finally time for the Jim Henson Tribute production number.
Oh, boy, okay,
Hey,
all right,
Vikings,
okay.
Remember, come in on the second chorus.
Oh, yes.
Accountants.
Accountants.
Hey, don't tap dance until we fly in the giant 1040 form. And, Scooter, Gonzo, come on, help me with this thing.
Oh,
Move
okay.
it out of the way. Wait, ho. What's this?
Oh, what?
I never noticed this before. It says, for Fozzie, these might inspire some ideas for the tribute number. These are real letters. Oh, from Jim's fans. Oh, boy.
Read some.
Read it? Should I?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. It says, Dear Kermit, my cousin Diane has a pet frog and she named him Kermit. And he could say hi just like... Yeah, I feel very sorry that your best friend Jim died. What? Died? Jim died?
But we were just starting to get to know him.
Perhaps the substance of Jim Henson's genius was the ability to see wonder far off in crazy directions and get people to follow him there. Roberta Moran, Dover Plains, New York.
Dear Kermit, I hope you feel better. I will miss Jim Henson too. I hope this letter makes you feel better. I love you. Bridget Kerwin, Peabody, Massachusetts.
You know, Mr. Henson was a very good, talented teacher. He will never be dead in my heart. Elizabeth Nicola Edelman, Mountain Lakes, New Jersey.
While falling asleep that night, our 5-year-old daughter Blair said, "It's a good thing there are people who can do Jim Henson's job. He'll be with us every time we watch the Muppets. He'll be able to see them from heaven." The Reeser family, Las Vegas, Nevada.
We will miss you, Jim Henson. Matt.
Cancel.
What?
Cancel the production number. Cancel everything.
What about the tribute?
I did it all wrong. I mean, when you read these letters and when you know how much people loved him, we can't do a tribute to him.
Kermit thought we could.
Oh, but Robin, all we have is silly songs and whoopee cushions.
Maybe that's enough. Well, that's what Uncle says. Take what you got and fly with it.
Fly with it? Kermit says that?
I think he learned it from Jim. You know, this Jim Henson may be gone, but maybe he's still here, too, inside us, believing in us. If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough, believes in you, hard enough and long enough, before you knew it, someone else would think, if he can do it, I can do it. Making it two whole people who believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, there's bound to be some other person who believes in making it a threesome, making it 3 people you can say believe in me. And if 3 whole people, why not 4? And if 4 whole people, why not more and more and more? And when all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, it stands to reason you yourself would start to see what everybody sees in you. And maybe even you can believe in you too.
good song. I knew you guys could do the tribute for Jim.
Was it really okay?
It was terrific. You guys were great. But, do you have something silly to end with?
Silly? Do we have something silly? Oh, yeah. Cue the production number. Fly with it.
Well, that just about brings us down to the end of another one. But before we go, let me thank you for being with us for our tribute to Jim Henson. And we'll be seeing you soon with more Muppet stuff because that's the way the boss would want it.
Michelle. I mean,
Why did you do that to us, Michelle?
I don't
That
know
needed a
people-
trigger warning.
I don't know if people know this. Michelle never tells us what the cold open is going to be on Saturday. She just does it. And then we all watch it along with the rest of you and always brings us to tears. Michelle wasn't even here last week and she had Christopher Plummer singing Edelweiss. That brought us to tears. Thank you, Michelle. This is why we do Saturdays for Sanity because
It is. And you know, this is such a difficult time to try and be a human being in. And you know, in addition to just like the world sucking, I know everyone is kind of going through their own stuff in their own lives and their own hardships. And I think about that. And I was trying to find, I was like, you know, the Muppets would be so good. And I was just kind of going through clips of Elmo and Rocco and all this stuff. Like, what can we play or what can I play? And I was reminded of this. You know, I wrote at the beginning of the clip that this aired in November of 1990. I was 8 years old. And I remember Jim Henson dying so vividly. It was the year after my grandmother passed away.
wow.
And it was the same week that my best friend's dad died. And it was all very shocking and like no one can handle these tough issues quite like the Muppets can. And they help children through these really complicated and difficult feelings. And I'm reminded of that now as a 44-year-old woman, that it was more than just trying to teach kids to get through difficult times. It was teaching us to be human beings and how to, you know, decipher what's right and wrong and how to be kind and how do you be kind to yourself. And in between him passing away, which by the way was so tragic, he had strep throat and he got like toxic shock syndrome in his body, and that's why he died.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
always thought it was pneumonia, but whatever. It was something
like
that shouldn't have killed you. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought for some reason, I thought he had cancer. I didn't realize.
No, it was very, and he was just working so hard. This was during like the Disney takeover. It was like after the Disney takeover of the Muppets, and he was like really out and like was working so much he got sick. And he didn't really take care of himself and probably didn't go to the doctor like we all do, right? It's like you get sick and you're like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And he wasn't fine. And I remember watching his funeral on television as an 8-year-old kid, which funny enough took place at Cathedral St. John the Divine, which is right up the street from where I live and where I go all the time. I'm part of that community there even as a non-religious person. And I remember so vividly this special airing because I remember being like, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to this thing that I love so much? And as a little kid, as an 8-year-old, or at least me, I learned sad things happen and you move on. You don't forget. but life
Yeah.
goes on. And so I thought that that was such a important thing to, at least for myself, to remind myself of today, and every day, and for everybody else who else is going through something. And that's why I wanted to bring it all to everyone today. So
Well, thank you for doing that, and thank you for everything you just said. And you're right. Everybody's going through something, including, I'm sure, the people in this chat today. And so, if you are, welcome to our little community that we are so grateful to you, that we've built up over the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years, however long we've been doing the Saturday show. This is the one I look forward to the most every week, because
Me
this
too.
is the one where we just talk about stuff in our lives, and people in the chat about their lives and what they're going through. I'll start. I had a crazy 24-hour trip to Las Vegas this week.
you were there at the same time as our friend Donald Trump.
Well, that's the problem. So I get to
Oh,
Vegas.
shit.
Well, yes, this actually affected my life. Once again, this man haunts me, even when I don't have anything to do with him. I get to Vegas. My 14-year-old decided he wanted to come with me. And I was like, okay, I don't know if Vegas is appropriate for a 14-year-old, but I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I'll take you with me, because they were paying for me to go out there anyway for work. So all I had to really do was pay for his plane ticket, because I had a free hotel room. So we get there. It's 114 degrees. It is so hot. I can't even tell you. But he's like, I want to walk the strip. I want to walk the strip. I was like, okay. So we were staying at the Venetian. And then we walked as far as, if people know the Vegas Strip, as far as the Bellagio, which is not that far. But by that point, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. But, you know, Vegas I hadn't been there in like 20 years. Have you guys been to Vegas?
Oh, yeah. But it's been about that long for me as well. It's been a
Yeah.
long
I
time.
mean, you know, nothing's really changed. I mean, there's a new hotel or two up, but otherwise, like, it's the same. Although, wait, I did go see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. And I have to say, if you have any shot of seeing anything at the Sphere, it is like, I cannot begin to describe the experience. Like, it's just
Really? Okay.
it's, I mean, well, you know, like, I'll give you an example. Like The Wizard of Oz, when they're doing it during the hurricane, during the tornado, they actually have wind blowing at you and leaves falling on you. And during the scene with the orchard, where she, like, you know, tries to pick an apple from the tree, and then they start dropping apples on them. They start dropping foam apples on the audience.
Ooh.
Which is really cool. And like, they've obviously spent a fortune with CGI making it even more incredible. But like, what they've done with Oz, like the Land of Oz, it's just like, it's unbelievable. So my point is, if you, and I sat there, I was like, why can't I see fish at the Sphere? That's all I want to do, is see fish at the Sphere, because that would be amazing. Or the Eagles. The Eagles have a residency at the Sphere. That would be cool too. Really expensive. But other than the Sphere, I don't know, there's really no reason to go to Las Vegas. Although my 14-year-old loved it. He's like, oh my God, the promised land. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
He also loved Florida, right? Like,
I literally
He's like
gave
the
birth.
most un-New York kid. You know what I
It's
mean?
unbelievable.
Like, yeah,
it's unbelievable. Miami and Vegas. This is like where he wants to spend time. I'm like, you live in New York City. He's like, yeah. Like, no, New York's boring. I want to live in like Miami or Vegas. Like, I don't.
oh my God.
I don't get it.
Julie, what did you do wrong?
I don't know. That's a great question. I keep joking. I gave birth to an old Jewish man. Like, he really wants to.
You really did.
No.
You really did.
Like, what happens in Boca stays in Boca.
He loved, well, before he got to Miami, his favorite place was Boca. He like loved Boca. I'm like, Boca Raton? Yeah.
The rat's mouth. Why? My mom lives right near there, and I grew up
Well,
near there.
you
So
know what? Yeah.
you never like where you're. You rarely like where you're from. Maybe it depends on where you're from, but I'm
He's
not
from
wild.
New York City.
I know.
What's not to love? And the answer
I
is
don't know. I agree.
But the grass is always greener, right?
Grass
Yes.
Like,
But did he grow up watching the Muppets?
He didn't. He was never.
Neither did my
Muppets.
kids.
I tried.
And neither did my kids. And I like to go back to the opener, because that's still sitting with me, Michelle. I'm older than you. So I was in college when Jim Henson died. But I was also, I think the Muppet Show, this is from memory, I think it debuted in like 1976.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it hit like right when I was like becoming cognizant of what a TV was and could watch shows. And I mean, we watched that one religiously. And even as a college kid, I cried when he died. Like,
oh yeah,
it was traumatic. And what we were both right. It was strep. It was a strep infection, severe toxic shock syndrome that just damaged his lungs. So
Yikes.
strep and pneumonia. And yeah, it started in cold-like symptoms in early May, and he was dead by the 15th, or he went to the hospital on the 15th. And then he had cardiac arrest and died the next day. Like he was only 40, I think. He was,
Yeah.
Wow.
it really was a fluke, and just like working too hard didn't stop to take care of his body,
Mhm.
which in the way he died, he taught us a lesson of like your physicality, you got to take care of your own. But one thing I loved about that clip that I have no memory of that clip, and it's likely I never saw it because I wasn't
never
still
saw it.
watching the Muppets at that point. It teaches you how to move on, but I love that it also teaches you how to grieve.
Mm.
And I have these theories, and Julie, I don't know if you have the same ones because I know you were also raised Jewish. That like I never really learned how to grieve from my religion of choice. Everything I feel like all the death rituals around Judaism are about
Mhm.
like when you sit shiva, you like have to wash your hands of the grave, you bring food, you keep the living alive. But at least with in like my family experience and what I've seen around me, there doesn't seem to be a lot of focus on like it's okay to pause and be really sad, and you need to do that to process what happened. And so I really liked that skit at the beginning that Fozzie's going through that whole like,
Yeah.
why would we keep doing what we're doing? What do we have to offer to the magnitude of this moment? Like he's in grief
Yeah.
before he comes back and returns to life. So within those few minutes, it was just so packed with really profound lessons from
And it
Muppets.
was a whole hour special, right? So they had done
Ah.
kind of like, I mean, all the Sesame Street people did it. There was a number by like it was,
Ah.
and so they didn't really address this until the end. This was like the last 5 to 6 minutes of the program. And I remember because it's again like being a little kid and being like, oh my God, the Muppets are back. The Muppets are back. And I remember seeing Kermit walk through the door and being like, oh, you know, because Jim Henson is
Jim
the
Henson
voice and
voiced.
heart and brain of Kermit. And
Ah.
it was his son that took over doing the voice of him for a long time. And obviously Frank Oz was still doing, you know, the rest of the characters and stuff. But you know, it's also interesting, like growing up and as we lose the people who were a part of like of that is trying to readjust to these familiar voices and things that you grew up on. But it's just I just remember it so vividly.
Me too, as a
And
young adult, though, not as a
yeah,
child.
yeah.
And weirdly, my best friend, not Lawrence, but our other, there's like three of us who grew up together. Denise, she went to Rhode Island School of Design, and she was classmates with Jim Henson's daughter.
Wow.
And so she was like had a very front row seat. I just Googled like, am I making this up? You know what? A memory so
Yeah.
old that you don't even know if you believe it. Heather Henson is a graduate of RISD and is a puppet artist, carrying in her family's rich tradition in the visual and performing arts. So
And you know what's funny too about that is, and if anybody here is a Henson person, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas is, do you know Emmett? There's like people who know it and love it, and then people they've never heard of it in their lives. It aired on HBO in the 70s. It was like the greatest thing in the whole world, but the best. I had it on like, you know, those free weekends, you'd get like HBO for a weekend for free or something. I remember it being on and like we taped it. And so like we watched it on that tape like every Christmas. And to this day, I still watch it every Christmas. And again, like when the Henson Company kind of lost the rights to Kermit and everything, and as it was handed over to Disney, that was the one thing that Jim Henson was like, I will not let Emmett Otter go. It was the one thing that he would not sell and make part of that. Yeah. And then for the longest time, like Kermit did not appear in the re-airs of Emmett Otter because like technically Jim Henson didn't own the Jim Henson Company didn't own Kermit. So Kermit couldn't be in it. But now in the re-release now, like it's been all put back together. But yeah, I just it's the best stuff. So I saw somebody say Fraggle Rock. Heidi said Fraggle Rock, Muppet, Sesame Street. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm like a kid. I'm a child of the early 80s. Like I like lived on that stuff. I have a Kermit. I don't know if my camera is not working, but I have a Fraggle back here sitting behind me. So yeah. Anyways.
I remember Fraggle Rock, but I was slightly older, so I wasn't as
It was
into
like
it as I
hippie
was the
stuff. It
Muppets.
was a hippy dippy. If you go
Yeah.
back and watch it now, like these are children of the 60s
Oh,
who
yeah.
grew up and made these like hippy dippy puppets. like a song called Passing On, and it was like clearly about weed. Like, I mean, it was just it was
Really? Okay, I've got to
yeah,
go back
it was
and hear
so
that.
so good. And again, like this is like, oh, Amy's here. Emma Otter. That's what I'm saying. Amy and I grew up in the same town. I know Amy from long ago.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and so you know, it's just the best. And you know, I it's funny too, like when I go through the stuff and I try to find something for us to watch, I kind of go through everything until I get choked up. If something chokes me up, then I'm like, okay, this is the one. This is the one.
Well, you always succeed at it because you're always so good at it.
You do that one. I really did need a trigger warning. I was like, "What's Michelle gonna pick?" And then I was like, "Not the Muppets when Jim Henson died." It was beautiful. I kind of want to go back and find that episode now.
Yeah, the whole thing's on YouTube, the whole hour.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't remember ever seeing that, and I feel
Yep.
like it would have triggered some old memory.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, of
for-
course.
God, the pressure of writing that episode must have just been immense.
I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine.
Through their own grief. Oof.
Yeah, right. Grieving, all right. Just a labor of love and just sadness, but just the whole thing. And that's another thing too. And I remember again, like having attended funerals and stuff at that age and trying to like figure it out, you know, growing up Catholic, I mean, around Catholic people, like I went to Catholic funerals and things, and watching that funeral on TV with all of the puppeteers at the altar at St. John the Divine with the puppets, and they sang a bunch of songs, but the Believe in You song they also sang. And I remember being like, oh, funerals don't have to be sad. They don't have to be sad. They can be happy. They can be a celebration of something. And I remember just kind of, you know, taking that in as a kid and being like, okay, it can be different. So, you know, all the good stuff.
Wow. Chris in the Substack chat is saying that she used to draw Muppet Babies when she was at Disney. The series was big for us at that time.
Oh, I love
Wow,
Muppet
Chris.
Babies.
I mean, you're an amazing artist. I already knew that, but like, what an incredible career opportunity.
Oh my gosh. I loved Muppet Babies.
That's incredible. Wow.
Best theme song too.
Yeah.
Best theme song. Well, speaking of songs, guys, I thought maybe we could bring up just quickly here Julie's favorite person, Taylor Swift. So I don't know if you guys.
What's new with Taylor?
Let me say this before you say Taylor Swift. I introduced my 14-year-old to Alanis Morissette last week, and I was like, I'm like, you want to hear breakup songs? That's a breakup song. I'm like, forget Taylor Swift with her bullshit. I'm like, you want to hear a good breakup? Like, like put on Alanis. He was like, what? What did she do in the theater? I was like, yeah, forget that part. But
if you really want to go next level with your son, though, you need to get him at Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville.
Liz Phair.
But that might be a little nuanced for a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Well, Donald Trump.
What did Taylor do?
Well, she's very, I think, often quiet in her disdain for Donald Trump. Probably too quiet for our liking. But to each their own, I guess. But as a reminder, so when she got married last month in New York City, which Julie did not like, here's the thing in the New York Times. The Trump's social media using the White House account like used her songs and did like this Eras thing, and it was like really stupid. It said, with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's marriage celebration at Madison Square Garden thrilling her fans, President Trump, a longtime critic of the singer, used the moment to try and grab some attention for himself, of course. You know, this is not long after she was married. The official White House social media account posted a mock-up of a similar image with a different message: Trump is your president. It like, he's just the worst. Just the worst.
He is the fucking worst. Seeing that iconography with it made me sick a month ago, and it's making me sick now.
Yes. Well, I woke up this morning and saw this, that she took down a bunch of her music that he was using on TikTok. And apparently when you click on it now, at the top it says this is no longer something about like in your country. Like you can't see it in the United States specifically. So I just
Okay.
want to say, kudos for her removing this music. It's a quiet resistance, I guess. Again, wish it was louder, but obviously the Swifties noticed first. The media picked up on it. There's been a lot of stories written about it. A lot of creators have made videos about it. I didn't want to play them because I didn't want to get a copyright strike, but you can go and look it up, and she has taken down the music so that he cannot use it. So
I just caught the tail end of it as you went out, but it looked like it was the song August that she
Yes.
removed.
yes.
That's such a good song. She removed August in August.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sure that was intentional too.
I'm sure it was. Everything she does is. Everything
Yeah.
she does is. Julie.
God, that song is so good. Sorry, apologies to Julie.
I
That
don't
song
want-
is unfuckwithable. It's so good.
I don't want to be a downer, but
But
no, but I mean, like, damage is done, right? Like, she waited
Yeah.
a month to do this. Like, damage
Yeah.
is done. He got the attention he wanted when she got married. She has people around her who could have taken this down much earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think she did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so screw him and screw
Yeah.
her. And I'm not a fan, and not that I'm not a fan of her music. I think whatever her music is blah for me, but I'm just not a fan of her. I think she's so self-involved. I think she's so self-righteous. She's not my cup of tea.
Well, like
I would not be hanging out with her and Gigi Hadid if that's what you're asking.
well,
If they invite me, I'm not going, just so you know. Go ahead.
can I go
Well,
in your stead though?
I'm not
If
gonna
they
go hang out
invite
at the,
you,
I'm not gonna go hang out at the corner store with her and Gigi. No way. Don't ask,
Well-
don't invite. Not going, Taylor.
it's the thing about criticism of very famous, powerful women like Taylor and others is like, and I know we talked about it in our chat that with the four of us early this morning, is that I'm always so afraid to express any disapproval or anything like, or disagreement, because I don't want to add on to the unwarranted misogyny that gets
Yeah.
piled on to these young women. And that goes for Taylor Swift, which she has been taking decades now of sexist abuse from the media, from MAGA, from you name it. And I know the same goes for maybe if you Katie, like somebody like, okay, look at somebody like Katie Miller, which by in the chat bring this up. We talk about this. We are going to talk about this. Just so
Yeah.
put a pin in that. I will be critical of her because she deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
but,
there's no holds barred there.
yeah, but we were talking about Ariana Grande too.
Yes.
And Ariana Grande, if you are joining the chat and you don't know who that is, she is a world renowned pop star. She
Very talented.
very, very talented. She started her career on Broadway in a show called 13, written by Jason Robert Brown. She then went on,
No,
she
I
was on
didn't.
a Disney show, and then her pop career started to take off, and she is an incredible vocalist. She was in the Wicked movie. She played Glinda the Good Witch. And she seems to be struggling with her health, mental health, physical health, not up for me to decide, but she is struggling, and everyone really seems to have an opinion about that. Sort of, I think, in a lot of ways, projecting their own struggles or even just like own frustration with the world as it treats women, and like just kind of like putting all of this on her. And she made an announcement a couple days ago that she's stepping away from her tour for a while. She was supposed to be back on Broadway doing Sunday in the Park with George, with Jonathan Bailey, which I was like so excited
Oh my
about.
God.
I
In the,
know,
West
like,
End, in the West End, I think, not Broadway. I think she's going to do it in London.
Well, either way, I
Yeah,
just get me to church on time. Hello. I love Jonathan Bailey. He's so
Oh
good.
my God, me too. It's a
uh,
Bridgerton thing, Julie.
It's like, right. And also, I mean, speaking of Jason Robert Brown, he did last 5 years in London. Anyways, but he's so amazing. I love him. But anyways, that's not going to happen now. And because she needs to take a step back. And so, you know,
that one
I have many thoughts on this one too.
Oh, yeah,
Go ahead.
that one I fully support. Like that one, I am 100% for her getting whatever help she thinks she needs and taking whatever time she needs. And I think there is a crazy obsession with her body that's been going on for way too long, since the Wicked tour. She's gotten incredibly skinny. There's this whole and I have to say, there's a whole Ozempic craze happening in Hollywood. Like I saw Charlize Theron in pictures the other day, and she, who was always stunning and gorgeous, and she is now a stick.
Yeah, like the 90s are back, not in a good way.
And
that is 100% what that is. Like pattern recognition. We're like, girl, we know what's going on here.
Yeah, and I think on the one hand, there's so much pressure to be super skinny. On the other hand, then when you get super skinny, which you are pressured to be, there is this whole industry that is tearing you apart. And if I can, I don't know if people here who know who Perez Hilton is.
Oh yeah.
But he also had some sort of mental health episode this week where he tried to, I think, commit suicide.
I think it was on Tuesday night. It was the night of the election, because I remember I was like,
yeah,
you know, looking at election results, and then I was like, I'm sorry, what did I just see? And it was very difficult to avoid those disturbing
images, right? Because he streamed it to TikTok, which is
he did
an interesting choice. But I'm not going to judge, because he obviously was in mental distress, and you don't know what happens to people when they're in mental distress. I will say this, however, I brought up Perez Hilton for a reason. Back in the early aughts, when he was a really big deal, Perez Hilton. I have a Julie Gump Perez Hilton story, which we can get to in a minute. But he, back in the early aughts, he spent all of his time criticizing women's bodies, criticizing them if they didn't present themselves a certain way, drawing cum literally dripping out of women's mouths
all the time. When Heath Ledger died, he was selling t-shirts that said, "Why couldn't it be Britney?" This is when Britney was going through her horrible mental episode where she was shaving her head and suicidal. He was awful to Lindsay Lohan. I mean, oh my God,
the whole fire crotch, all of it was awful. And he was kind of at the vanguard and the forefront of doing this to celebrities. And then I feel like it kind of got better with the paparazzi. I feel like it got a little bit better. I think these celebrities just started selling pictures of themselves or putting them up. I think what happened was these celebrities figured out that if they put pictures of themselves up on Instagram or pictures of themselves up on TikTok, paparazzi would be hounding them because there'd be nothing to sell. Because
Instagram was it started around 2011-ish,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, if you could get it out yourself, you don't have to. Nobody else has to chase you down in the car to get a picture of you, because you are, So the point is, I fear that what we're going back to now with Ariana Grande is this notion of this incredible pressure to look a particular way, which Ozempic has contributed to. And for people who never had weight problems in the first place, I mean, like Charlize Theron.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of,
I mean, she looks, I'll be blunt, like she does not look well. Like she needs to go back to what she looked like, because she was beautiful and healthy, and now she looks very gaunt. But that's not even, I don't even want to talk about that, because that's actually counter to what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Which is like, leave women alone.
Yeah.
Like, leave them alone. And I think that's the case for all of us. I don't care if you're Ariana Grande or you're the three of us who's on Substack with certainly not billions of people trying to observe, but the number of comments that I think we as women get about what we look like. I mean, I have never done one TV hit without at least one person on social media commenting on whether I need to do my hair better the next time, or I need to gain weight, or I need to lose weight, or I need to
smile more,
or I need to get Botox, or I've got too much Botox. Like there's, it's kind of funny. Sometimes I'm too fat, sometimes I'm too thin, literally in the same segment.
There's no right way to move through the world as a woman.
Right. And good for her for taking the time to acknowledge that. I hope that it's going to kick off a conversation for everybody else on that point.
Well, and she comes
I
from a
do.
really close family too. I just want to say, like, really quick, she comes from a very close, very tight knit Italian family. They all are very, like, she has a support system in her life that care deeply for her, and like she's very lucky, you know, despite being a worldwide, you know, global superstar. She does have that, and you know, I'm just kind of speculating here, but I'm assuming at some point her brother Frankie and her mom were like, we need to
At home.
you, like,
Yeah.
you need to come
Speaking of
home.
Boca Raton, that's where she's from, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
She's from
Boca?
Boca Raton,
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tell your son. Tell
I
your
will.
son.
I should probably be into her now. But
I know. Julie, I want to do a yes and
okay.
on top of what you said. I'm working on an essay about this now that I may or may not publish. I'm not sure if it's going to quite meet the bar. I'm trying to think of what I'm being very careful with my words because I know it's very hard to be a woman on the internet who's got the fame and blast radius of Ariana Grande. But I have 2 teen daughters, as you guys know, and we were obsessed with Wicked, the first one. Went to go see the second one, and I was like, "Wow, she's too skinny." Like I caught it then. A lot of people did. That I was like, "That's too skinny," and the response I got from my daughters who have been raised right was like, we don't talk about women's bodies.
Ugh.
And I was like,
Well,
and so I
it's
didn't say very much. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to finish this part. I didn't say very much then, but in my mind, I was like, with age comes wisdom. And I can see what's likely happening here because I lived through the 90s. The beauty cycles go in waves, and we were just coming off the crest of this kind of wonderful body positivity, health at any size movement where we had beautiful fat women who were at the front of the cultural dialogue. And I'm not using fat as a pejorative. I'm quoting Lindy West as like fat should be like tall. It's just another descriptor. And we had Lizzo and we had Rebel Wilson and we had Adele and all of these women who were not thin, Kelly Clarkson, and who were very successful, very beautiful, and living their best lives. And clothing companies made more expansive sizing. All of these things happened, right? And I was like, what a wonderful time for my daughters to come of age. And then GLP-1s were born, right? All these diet shots, which I mean, I'm starting a different one next week. So like I have used them before. I'm not, there's we're going to put all of that aside. I saw that trend coming and I was like, oh, this is going to really swing everything back the other way. And we like, it's not just Charlize. It's like, I've seen so many starlets and all of the formerly fat stars are now way smaller because there's a
including
fix.
Lizzo, including
Lizzo, including Kelly Clarkson, including Rebel Wilson, all of those women are now thinner. And I'm like, I do not begrudge them the right to do that. If they feel better about their bodies, go for it. But when I look at Ariana Grande, I was like, that's dangerous. And as the mom of a teenage daughter, and what's so curious to me is it's this week that all the dialogue flipped. And everyone, what I'm hearing overwhelmingly about her is not shame, but concern. That she is wasting away in front of us. And there comes a point where I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's going on with her body, ... We know what's going on here. That's starvation. That is unambiguous. Like either she has a disease that is taking hold of her, like a cancer or a physical disease. And I don't think it's that, or she has an eating disorder. Like your body doesn't naturally do where hers is. And so I'm working on an essay of like as the mom of teen daughters, it's so important to be able to have the conversation and to not just go mute and be like, well, she can do whatever she wants with her body. There's a yes, and I don't want to lose Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Like Karen Carpenter, like Amy Winehouse. I mean, Amy Winehouse was a drug and alcohol abuser, but she also had an eating disorder. I'm sure that played a part in her cardiac arrest that ultimately killed her. And so I'm working on this essay. I'm not sure I'm going to have a nuanced enough take that hasn't already been said enough that I'll share it, but it seems worth saying here of like, young women are counting on the wisdom of older women to call this out. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating that, but it's important as a conversation, as a culture, to be able to address and to acknowledge the nuance of like, this isn't the same as shaming women and there's no good way to come forward.
Yeah.
This is a person who's dying in front of us. I do want to share one essay with the chat, and this is from one of my favorite Substackers. Her name is Tova Sterling, or Tova Wholesome Filth is her handle here. And I think she's about 30. She is a teen anorexia survivor. And she wrote an essay called The Pro-Anna Morse Code of Ariana Grande. And I guess the movement on Tumblr back in the day was called Pro-Anna, the anorexics who were kind of gleefully sharing about their experiences with weight loss. And she talks about what she sees and has been witnessing it as a survivor in Ariana's behavior that goes just beyond the skinny, the kind of little girl way she's like reverted into these habits, her friendship with Cynthia Erivo on the press tour, the sort of adoration and the clinging to one another, and really humanizes it in a way that I rarely read an article where I'm like, I had never considered this point of view before. Like, this is really opening my eyes. And I thought this was one of those stories. It's I can't give too much of it away because she put it behind the paywall for a reason. But I read it and I was like, God damn you. She's so good that I was like, now I don't even need to write mine. This one's so much better.
Well, but you know what? You raised. Sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna. My first thing about that was gonna be, and I saw a video about this the other day, and so I'm gonna repeat it everywhere. For any person who says about themselves or about someone else, it's been done before, it's been said before, it's been written about before, not by you. Not by you. So you should write it anyways, because your point of view is specific to you. And I personally would love to read that. So that's what I wanted to say.
I agree. And your audience may not be her audience. So people may see something at you, but you know,
and it's a different point of view. I thankfully have never had an eating disorder, and so that's why her perspective was so interesting and helpful to me as a mom. Thankfully, knock on wood, my children don't have eating disorders. But interestingly, I asked them yesterday, like catching up at the end of the week, have you been hearing about all this? And they were like, of course. And even they who were so adamant when Wicked 2 came out of like, we don't talk about her body, they're now like, well, she's clearly not well. And I'm like, I'm really glad that you can see the nuance there and the difference. So we had a good conversation.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, on the one hand, we're talking about body positivity. On the other hand, there are people who are overweight and it's just not healthy, right? Like they're more prone to diabetes, they're more prone to cardiac issues. So I think part of it is how to help people with their body positivity, not shame them for what they look like, but also express concern potentially in the way that we express concern for people who are anorexic about the fact that this may kill them. The same goes in the opposite direction for weight. But I will say, you know, I thought I never had any kind of eating disorder issues, and I don't think I ever did. But I will say there was pressure in the course of my life to be very thin.
Yes.
Always. And I will tell you a story which probably violates my NDA, but go ahead, Fox News, and sue me. You know, I had my son.
Don't really.
They can go ahead and sue. You know what? If you want to sue me for this story, God bless. It'll become so world famous if they do that come at me. I had my son, and I was at Fox, and I went back to work 2 weeks later. Not because anybody told me to do that, but because I knew that if I did, you know, it's so competitive, you don't want anybody else kind of taking your slot.
That's where they get you.
That's where they get you. You know, the way they filmed me when I was pregnant was as I gained weight by virtue of being pregnant, the camera kept going up and up and up and up until you finally just saw basically this. And Roger Ailes, who was the head of Fox News, apparently said to somebody who I was friends with, oh my God, she's been pregnant for like 12 months. When is she having a fucking baby? And the woman said she's only 6 months along. And by the way, I didn't gain that. I mean, I did gain a lot of weight when I was pregnant, but I wasn't like obese, right?
You're
Your
tiny.
body needs to gain weight to
Right.
sustain
Well,
any of that.
I gained 40 pounds. I gained, and I'm pretty small, so that was a lot of weight. It doesn't matter. The point is, I then proceed, because I needed to get back to my fighting weight immediately, to eat, those little packets that they have of, and I went to a doctor, this basically Dr. Spachemin, which we called him, because this guy's like, and for my TV clients, and he literally opened up
No.
a drawer, and
No.
it didn't have his name or any identifying markers on it. And he gave me a piece of paper with what I needed to do. And the piece of paper was, this is not a Fox doctor. This is not a Fox thing. It's just a doctor people will go to. Broth. You just have broth. That's it. Just have 2 cups of bone broth per day. And then on day 3, you could eat, those little packets that have like salami and then cheese in them. You can buy them at the convenience store. I think they're 500 calories, one of those. And that's all I did. And I
all
worked
salt,
out.
Julie. All salt.
I mean, whatever. That's all I did. I worked out for 2 hours straight. I have not worked out in like years since then, but I worked out for 2 hours straight. And I drank bone broth for 2 days on, one of these packets for the 3rd day, bone broth 2 days on. I mean, this is well before GLP-1s, this is before anything. I was so hungry. I could not even begin to tell you how hungry I was. And the compliments I got about people were like, oh my God, that baby weight just came off you. You look phenomenal. You look so good. And I was back on TV like that, and everything was fantastic. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's like you never had this baby. The amount of crap that I had to do to lose that weight was ridiculous. And it wasn't because I was, And so I will tell you, and listen, I was a nobody on cable news, right? Like, think about what Ariana Grande needs to go through. I only tell that story to put in perspective that, like, her level of scrutiny, her level of fame, the number of paparazzi that want to get a picture of her, the number of people who dissect everything she does and what she looks like and how much weight she's gained, how much weight she's lost, and the press tour, and this, like, I cannot imagine being her. I just cannot imagine being her.
And then God forbid you go to an autograph line or something like that. Someone says something to you right to your face. I mean, people are bold. People are, and it's so funny you say the thing about the broth and stuff. First of all, I think of like those old school, like 1950s, cookbooks or whatever, where they tell women what to eat. And it's like a tablespoon of cottage cheese, a half a grapefruit, and a cigarette, and then maybe some wine for lunch.
Oh my God, some black coffee.
He was like, have some grapefruit. Actually, he told me like, grapefruit and cottage cheese works. I was like,
yep. Which is like what everybody's grandma, like of that generation, like everybody ate like that. My grandmother used to have a tomato with cottage cheese and like a little spoonful of mayonnaise on it. I remember she would do that. But and she was a heavy smoker. But
that'll do it too.
I have such strong and complicated opinions about all of this. I say that as someone who didn't have an eating disorder, but I have had disordered eating for as long as I can remember.
Explain.
Isn't that a weird thing? Because I know exactly what you mean.
Explain, because I think I do, but I'm not sure. So I want to explain.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I think my parents kind of noticed it. And I remember my dad reading an article, and I'm sure I'll hear from him later about this. I don't know if he remembers or not. My dad read an article in Reader's Digest.
Oh my gosh.
With Sally Field. And Sally Field was talking about how she would eat when she was doing the Flying Nun or whatever like that. She was like, I would eat nothing but cucumbers for like a week. And then on like the 8th day, I'd eat like a half a cake. You know what I mean? And it was just like that. And that's always how it was for me. Like I would just starve. And then all of a sudden I'd like gorge and like eat a ton of food and then feel bad about it. And then like not eat it. And it's just like this really like poisonous relationship with food.
Yeah.
And not only does it mess with your brain, but it messes with your metabolism, your hormones, everything in your whole life. And I grew up dancing. I did gymnastics as well. And then I went into theater. I went to theater school. where everybody, and this was in the early 2000s, where if you remember, Britney Spears gained like 5 pounds and it was on the cover of every magazine. I mean, like I was coming of age during that time.
Jennifer Aniston was pregnant every 6 months
Every
because
6
she had
months.
because she had a little bit of a pooch in her
Yeah.
stomach because she
And I
gained.
remember Jennifer Lopez was fat and had a fat ass. I went back and was like watching her in like the wedding planner. I'm like, she looked amazing. Amazing at a time when everyone's like, look at her booty. And I'm like, her booty. I mean, that's where it's like, as much as I despise Kim Kardashian for lots of reasons, that family really did change
That's true.
like acceptable body image, like things. And I think it went too far, obviously, with her like all the things as everything normally does. Hello.
Say hi to Kira.
Hey, Kira.
Hi,
I just got
Kira.
back from her hike and she's like, I just picked
Do
her
you
up without
spell it
telling
with
her.
an I or a Y?
With an I, Kira.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Love it.
She's going to be our emotional support
It's
animal this morning.
truly. I'm like, where's my cat? It's like not in here with me. But yeah, so I say all that, you know, and then going into as an actor, having managers, agents, I also competed in the Miss America program.
Yeah, I can only imagine
in the
the
late
pressure there.
90s and early 2000s. This is
Oof.
before women were like working out like crazy. Like you watch Miss America now and it's like all the young women are like ripped, which is a whole different kind of issue now.
Yeah.
But back then it was just skinny. Everybody was just skinny. There was no like working out.
Mhm.
It was like cardio.
Right. If you did work out, you had to use lightweight so you wouldn't bulk up.
Yes,
You
of
just
course.
wanted
It
to
was
get
only
skinny.
like 2
Yeah.
pounds and like, you know, the Gwyneth Paltrow thing.
Oh, I wish Gretchen Carlson was here so she could tell you stories about being called Miss Piggy when she won Miss America.
I love Gretchen Carlson for so many reasons, but also for that and for also what she really tried to do with Miss America 2.0.
Yep.
I really have all the respect and love for her for all of that. And also because Gretchen's a tiny girl too, a tiny woman. And I understand because when you're a small young woman competing in pageants, first of all, everyone looks down on you, literally and figuratively. And you can't gain weight. Like you just can't. Like there's nowhere for it to go. And then as I got older, like I have thyroid issues. I have PCOS. I have all kinds of hormone dysfunction. And it became, and then I had a very, very stressful and traumatizing at times job that was creating a perfect storm in my body to gain a lot of weight that I could not take off. And I had a dietitian. I was on thyroid medication. I had a trainer. I ate like 1,300, 1,200 calories a day. It did not matter what I was running 10Ks. I worked out all the time. There is nothing I could do until finally I like found this doctor that I had to pay out of pocket for. And she was like, girl, you have metabolic disease. Like you're treating all these other things, but you have a metabolic disorder. You have a disease.
Oh.
We have to treat this. And this is why I get so angry about the conversation around GLP-1s and weight loss medication and like things like tirzepatide. Is because first of all, it's overprescribed for people who don't need it with absolutely no guidance whatsoever. Now there's people who do need it and are getting these prescriptions online, again, with no guidance. People are not giving them direct guidelines to like how to eat. You can't not eat all day long and then have fried chicken, you will throw up. Things like that. And also that's just not good for you. You still have to eat protein. You still have to lift weights. You have to do all of these things. It helps to heal your relationship with food. And it also helps to reduce the inflammation in your body. GLP-1s and tirzepatide is also, all these studies are coming out about how, and maybe it's the correlation with the lack of, or like the diminishing amounts of inflammation in your body, but like heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, all these things. Alzheimer's. It's an incredible breakthrough. And by the way, these are not new drugs. For people like Bill Maher, who's like, it's a new drug. No, they've been around for over 20 years. They're just finding new things, uses, right? Now, the other part of this now is the skinny people who are now seeing people who've been struggling with their weight the whole time and placing a moral value on your weight. Because, you know, people are overweight because it must be behavioral. They must be lazy, fat and lazy. So people put all of this sort of like judgment and cruelty on people about that. And so now that they're using a medication in order to treat whatever the underlying cause of their weight gain is, whether it be the food noise or the inflammation or the metabolic disease. And now, because fat people can't win, now it's, oh, you're taking a shortcut. You're taking the easy way out. You're cheating. And I'm going to be like, screw you. First of all, if being skinny is all you have in life, that's really sad. That's really sad. Imagine being a chubby, funny person and then getting skinny. Like, girl, you got it all. You got it all. These skinny, angry people are just hungry and they need to shut up. But the other thing about this too is that the other thing is that thinness, right back at you. Thinness is also rooted in, and I'm not making this up, I'm not being like an uber woke person. Thinness is rooted in white supremacy.
And racism, yeah.
And racism. And so, you know, there's a reason why whiteness and thinness go together. And that's why white specifically different acceptable type do. And also there is a book called Backlash, which I hope everyone will go find, go read.
Susan Faludi, Backlash?
Yeah. Okay. It talks about, you know, body types being trendy, because it all it does is decade after decade of like body trends, which is just insane. They're not fashion trends, they're body trends. What's in now? What happened the decade after women got the right to vote? You were supposed to be rail thin with a drop waist. And then anytime women have any sort of progress, there's some sort of unattainable, you know, body trend that you were supposed to, you know, obtain just time for it to change again. And all of this is meant to exhaust us, to keep us out of, you know, places and opportunities and success, and to keep us distracted from things that we really need to be doing for ourselves. And sorry, just one last thing. And just the other thing about this, and you touched on this, Julie, is like the overweight versus the very thin. Yes. And there has been an overcorrection, I think, in the body positivity movement, in the fact that we don't know how to talk about it in a way that's not hurtful. And like, to go back to the Taylor Swift thing, is like, how do I not add to a world that already hates women for however they look at any given day? So anyways, that's
well, you know, it's so funny that you say, it's not funny, it's not the word. You're so right about the fact that it is rooted in white supremacy, because I just think about the song Baby Got Back, right? Remember, like, I like big butts and I cannot lie.
That's Sir Mix-a-Lot's from here.
That song was actually written about Jennifer Lopez. I don't know if people know that.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was like the inspiration from Baby Got Back, because she was a fly girl in Living Color. And
oh my God, in Living Color, I loved that show.
Remember, that's when she got started. That she was a fly girl. So she got started. And by the way, in Living Color, kind of the answer to the people of color answer to Saturday Night Live, which is so white for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But my
husband loved In Living Color. It's like watched.
So Jim Carrey got started on Living Color. All of this. But I think what's so interesting about all this is, like, if you listen to the lyrics of Baby Got Back, which now are going to be stuck in my head for the next 27 years, no matter how many times I listen to it.
Anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You can do side bends or sit-ups, but please don't
lose that butt.
Right. Yeah.
I karaoke'd that song when I was
36,
9 months
24,
pregnant.
36. Maybe if you're 5'3", I'm 5'3", and believe me, 36, 24, 36, 5'3", pretty good. Don't think I'll ever be a 24, but okay. Anyway, so like, that song is by a Black man about body positivity for women of color. And I know it's by Jennifer Lopez, who's Latina, but I think it's mainly about Black women. Yeah. And like, you're absolutely right about the Kardashians. I can't stand the Kardashians. They've gone way too far. Nothing is real. Their butts aren't real. Their tits aren't real. I don't know about their boot. Like, everything is fake, right? Like, she took fat from other parts of her body, injected it into her butt. Like, we all get the gig, right? But at least it got rid of for a while this
Mhm.
notion of a flat board butt.
Mhm.
Having said that, the Brazilian butt lift, the BBL, is the most dangerous plastic surgery you can have, and more people die from that than they die from anything else. So that's not healthy either.
Right.
Right.
So, like to me, I forgot who said this in the chat, and I put it up for a second. Like, if you were born with what people consider to be conventionally good looks, shut the fuck up because you hit the genetic lottery, right?
Mhm.
You just did. If you were born with what people consider not to be traditionally good looks, doesn't matter because it's all in the eye of the beholder, and society, for whatever reason, decides every 5
Whatever
years.
trend.
Whatever trend is that ever trend, right? Like you look at old Botticelli paintings, or you look at old like Rubens,
God, I would have been so in then.
right? Like you look at Rubens, and these women have all like, they're all pretty chunky, and because of course back then you were pretty or attractive if you had enough money for food. If you were
Right.
skinny,
Yes.
you were
And
starving.
it's
Fertility.
equated with fertility. Yeah.
Fertility, right? So like, it just, I don't get it, and I don't like it, and it pisses me off. And I am fortunate enough that I never had really horrible weight issues. But as I said, I had to go through some shit to lose that baby weight, and I had to, sometimes after COVID, I gained an extra like 20 pounds.
We all did.
That was, I don't know what
Girl.
that was. That was no
COVID
way.
meets menopause. Are you
well, and the
kidding?
other
Yeah,
thing
COVID
too-
and menopause hit at the exact same time. No way.
Yep.
Well, the other thing too, and like this is something that I wish, and this also happens in healthcare, right? Because doctors are fat phobic.
Oh, yes.
And this is proven statistically that if you are a person who is overweight, you are not going to get the same care as maybe a thin person would, and your pain is not believed at the same rate. You're not maybe given the right medications because again, there is that fat phobia where people just automatically have this implicit bias toward overweight people and say you're lazy. It must be behavioral or whatever it is. But the other like thing here is that obesity is a disease.
Mhm.
And the thing
Yes.
is that science has shown us that if you gain a certain amount of weight, and then you lose it, your body metabolically is trying to get back up to that weight for the rest of your life. So you have to be extreme in your calorie deficit and your exercise and movement in order to maintain that. And if you slip up, even for a couple weeks, you can be screwed. I mean, there are some people who can just eat
And
less.
test.
Right, same. And it's like, so there are some people who can just eat less and they lose weight. Good for you. Good for you. Most people can't. A lot of people can't. A lot of
No,
people
no, but
can't.
I'm raising my hand because it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not, it's the genetic, it's the way.
It's just the way that we're made
It's
up.
just the way it
It's-
is. My mother.
Some people have high blood pressure. You take
Yeah.
medication for high blood pressure, it goes down. So like some people have metabolic disease. Obesity is a metabolic disease. You take medication for that, you can lose weight. Your cholesterol, your sugars, all these things can go down. Your body can get better. Your brain can clear of the food noise and all of these other things, and you can live a better life.
And food
Why
noise is
don't-
actually really key, Michelle, because people who think that people who gain weight or fat are undisciplined,
Mhm.
you have your brain telling you you have to eat, like you have to eat, and it's no more than you can tell an alcoholic to just tell, why don't you just stop drinking? It's not a big deal. Like it's not that it's an addiction. Your brain chemistry is telling you to eat. What used to drive me crazy, and I'm not a fan of Chris Christie politically,
Mm.
but what used to drive me crazy throughout the course of Chris Christie's career, and I was there for the beginning of it, and I was there for the end of it, and I know him, is when people used to go nuts on his weight and make fun of him for being fat. And Donald Trump
Yep.
still does it. Donald Trump of all people, by the way.
Right.
But like you want to
Mr.
criticize
Filet-O-Fish.
you want to criticize Chris Christie for his politics. I'm right there for you. Like I'll do it for you. I know it all. I'll say it all.
Right.
But nothing pissed me off more than when people were like, "You know their burger, Chris." Like clearly,
Yeah.
there's an issue there.
Yeah.
Like clearly, like he had to, from my understandings, when he was governor, like he would just on the way home, he'd have to stop at a fast food restaurant and just get food, like he had to eat.
Mhm.
And it's not because he's undisciplined. He's actually a pretty disciplined guy when it comes to everything else in his life, what I know of him. It's the food thing. And I can't
Exactly.
stand when people would sit there and make fun of him for it. It's so fucking lazy. It drives me insane.
It's so lazy. It's
Yeah.
cruel, but it's like, again, it's just, you know, Alex Edelman talked about this. I went to go see him with, in a panel with Stephen Colbert at the 92nd Street Y. And it was talking about like jokes in comedy and like what's acceptable. Cause like you should be able to make fun of everyone without being cruel, or, you know, everyone should be able to laugh at themselves. And he goes, and except for, he's like, fat phobia is really the
Mhm.
last acceptable, like,
Yes.
cruelty
Punchline?
that people right, it's the last one that everyone's kind of like side eyes and goes like it's the one that everyone's still okay with. And he said that he spoke to another comedian about this who had written a book about it, who's like an overweight person. He's like, and I never understood that until I read this book, and then I was like, oh my god, and he's like, and it changed my comedy forever.
Good.
Oh,
And by the way,
good
Michelle,
for him for learning.
you
That's amazing.
you are inspired me because I'm very worried about Alzheimer's returns in my family. Michelle showed me all of these studies where GLP-1s apparently diminish the inflammation.
Yeah, like
in your body.
microdosing, like
Yeah, microdosing. So actually, I'm going to the doctor to get some, and like
Fantastic.
I'm not doing it to lose weight, but if it's going to help me prevent getting.
They're saying, I
disease.
mean, like the amount of studies that are being done now about that, about even I read something about breast cancer. It's like people who are on GLP-1, like a 30% chance, like less of getting breast cancer than other people. And a lot of it's inflammation, right? A lot of it's
Yeah.
inflammation, which is caused by all different kinds of things. But like these are miracle drugs. And now the insurance companies and employers who supply insurance for people are playing games with people's health, and it's not okay. And again, this is where the fat phobia and corporate greed all kind of come together, and like are not allowing regular people to have access to these life-changing and life-saving drugs. People with, again, high cholesterol, or, you know, heart disease. There's studies that are being done now about heart disease, and these drugs, cancer, diabetes. I mean, there's so many things, and I don't understand. This is again where it's like you get into the insurance industry. Why would you not want to cover this drug? Now, I know for Eli Lilly
Right.
and others, it's like the pen is the most expensive part of the manufacturing of these drugs. I have a friend who works at Eli Lilly. She was telling me about it. And so, but not everybody wants to be doing science experiments, like having to like draw up stuff. Like the pen is a lot easier for people, but it's the most expensive. But like even if your insurance company, don't you want to cover that for $12,000 a year?
Right, and
Instead of
save-
having to cover
It's probably not
thousands and thousands of
$12,000 a
dollars.
year. They could probably negotiate something much cheaper with Eli Lilly.
Right.
Like, think about how much more Eli Lilly would be selling if this were covered
Right.
by insurance, in which case they
Yes.
would definitely. I mean, look, like, we don't need to belabor this other than to say that this notion of constantly dissecting people's looks and people's weight and people's appearance and people's presentation of themselves
Mhm.
is really annoying. But Dana, to your point, there
Mhm.
are alarm bells that you can raise
Yeah.
and you should raise. And I think that's the difference. If you do it out of concern and genuine concern, not like, oh, I'm worried about her.
Oh, like, oh,
You know,
I'm really worried
I'm
about
worried about her. Yeah.
Right.
But-
I mean, I don't know Ariana Grande. I'm not concerned for her at a personal level. I would hate for her voice to go away. She's a
Oh my God,
wonderful.
she's-
I'm concerned
she's
for
so-
Britney Spears. By the way, I don't know Britney Spears at all. She seems like a complete asshole
I
in every
adore
way.
her. I adore
But
her.
but I am concerned for her in the
Yeah.
sense that I think she's going to die if this keeps up. Like, she obviously needs help, and I
Wait,
don't.
what's going on with Britney? I haven't heard this.
I mean, Britney's, dancing with knives and driving drunk and taking off her clothes. And,
yeah,
and
she got arrested recently.
She got arrested.
Ago.
Like
Oh.
Britney's got it. Listen, whatever's going on with Britney's got issues. And I conservatorship, like, I don't know anything about that.
I know
But
too much about it.
right, but my point is, like, clearly Britney needs help, and she's got adult sons, and I hope that they can do something
Well,
get
and the
her.
problem is the adults around her, not her sons, but like all these other people who claim to care about her and take care of her, including this man who like was gonna like married her or was gonna marry her or whatever it was. All of it was a setup. All of it was a setup.
She's
to
been
just-
manipulated so many
Right,
times.
to
It's
just
so sad.
take. She was being forced to work against her will. Like all of this. I think they essentially sterilized her so she couldn't have more kids. I mean, the conservatorship was cruel and horrible and a violation of her human rights, but also like this is not working either. So like she needs help really, really, really badly.
And like I am genuinely worried about her. And I remember back in the early 2000s, speaking of Perez Hilton again, when Lindsay Lohan was going through her bullshit and she was on the cusp of like death. Like it was a matter of like, she's going to die. Something's going to happen to her.
Back. She's
come back. But listen, she had to move to Dubai or wherever the hell she moved to get away from all of this.
Yeah,
and
Wait, who is this? Sorry, I missed the name of who.
Lindsay Lohan. And I,
right.
and I was on a show randomly on a show with her father.
Really?
Yes, years ago.
You know the parents of all the famous people.
Believe me, Michael Lohan is not who you want.
He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. But I was on a show with him, and he's like, "My Lindsay," when we're like during a commercial break, and I go, "Well, how is Lindsay?" Like as though like we know each other. I'm like, "How is Lindsay doing?" Like,
yeah.
And he's like, and this is right when she moved to Dubai, and he goes, "She's great. She's getting turning her life around." And I'm like, okay, this sounds like complete bullshit, like from like a guy who's
true though.
Spinning. But it turned out to be true. Like she had to get away from her crazy mom and her crazy dad and this crazy paparazzi culture. And she keeps saying the reason she lives in Dubai is it is illegal to take paparazzi pictures in Dubai. Like your right to privacy in Dubai apparently is completely paramount. And I think she's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she's made a total comeback, and I think she's trying to get her career back on track. She's married. She's got the best facelift I've ever seen.
The best.
Well, you know who did that?
I know the same guy.
The same guy who did Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner, and then everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm looking up a recent photo of her.
She looks so good, and glowing from the inside. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like the face matches her glowing from the inside, and because she had done so much drugs and drank so much, I think that in the stress it just was taking its toll.
Yeah,
but again, like she's a mom, like she's having.
She does look great.
That's
living
my
her best
point.
life.
My point is like she's living her best life, and like Britney should be living her best life too. But Britney's got issues.
I think that something has been done to her. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think about it's.
What could be done to her that we don't already know? Like the woman,
I don't know, electric shock therapy.
Maybe,
like, you know what I mean? Like,
but like, listen, she was put in this impossible Hollywood situation where she was pitted against other girls at a very young age. Christina Aguilera, all of them at the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh God, which I watched that religiously.
She was told that she had to stay a virgin until she got married publicly.
And they would ask her about it in interviews.
Yeah. And then privately, at the age of 14, she moves in with Justin Timberlake, and her parents are like, yeah, no problem. So like on the one hand, she's supposed to be like the Virgin Mary. On the other hand, her parents were allowing her to shack up with a guy at 14.
And then Justin Timberlake gets her pregnant and forces her to have an abortion. And said that when she's literally laying on the ground, like bleeding afterwards, just convulsing in grief, he grabs his guitar and starts playing his guitar, and I was like, this is the scene out of the Barbie movie. This is the scene out of the bar. I was like, Justin Timberlake is such a piece of shit. Like, I can't. And I used to love that guy.
And then she's got these parents who are like clear, like nothing is worse than parents. Nothing's worse than parents who have to like live off their kids, because then the whole relationship changes, right?
They need you.
They need you. You can't really discipline them because then the money train goes away. Like you need to push them into making money no matter no way, no how, or else you're not.
And she came from like backwoods
you know what I mean? Indiana.
Right.
So
Britney, man, I just adore her. I just adore her.
And that's the thing. Like, and for anybody who's like Taylor Swift's story is different because her parents protected her fiercely. Yeah, her father's also a really well-off man who didn't need his daughter to get rich, right? Like he had his own thing going on.
Yep.
And they gave her all the tools to succeed. And listen, as we all know, I'm not a Taylor Swift fanatic, but like she's obviously unbelievably talented. But she also was given the tools to succeed, and parents who were like we're going to give you those tools, but it's not like we're living off of you in order to be multi-billionaires.
Right.
No,
right.
they supported. Yeah, I've written about
Yeah.
this before of like my internalized misogyny about female pop stars ran really deep until my daughters kind of course corrected me, and Britney Spears was kind of patient zero for that. That I was like, that, you know, I don't listen to that. I listen to all the alternative artists, and it's only now in much later adulthood that I'm like, oh, she never stood a chance.
No.
Never stood a chance.
She really didn't stand a chance. I mean, we can all overcome adversity, but in that sort of limelight with that kind of parental nightmare,
Well, and also
weighing her down, like, and depending on her, no way.
Yeah, no way. And I can't imagine, I don't know anything, so I'm not insinuating this, but I have to wonder, as we're learning more in this like Epstein file era, being a young child, beautiful actor around these powerful, disgusting men, I can't imagine what kind of environments and rooms that she was placed in. And these sorts of things damage you.
100%, Michelle.
Yes.
100%, because the one industry that has not yet had its Me Too reckoning, and I know this because this
Other
is
than
what we
Broadway,
do.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Other than Well, Well, the Broadway did because it had what's his name, the producer.
They trust me. There's a whole
I know
New York
he's
Times
back.
expose that was supposed to come out that never did because they
Got it.
squashed it. Anyways, keep
Got
going.
it. Okay, but the one industry that has not, well, maybe not the one then, but a major industry that has never had its Me Too reckoning is the music industry.
Mhm.
And everybody there, and I know this for a fact because we did a press conference outside of Warner Music a couple years ago. All of these people are so NDA'd from the secretary. I mean, like, I know the woman who was first the assistant to Emmett Erdogan, who was the head of Atlantic Records.
Erdogan.
No, Emmett Erdogan. Ahmet Erdogan, who was the head of Atlantic Records, right? And then that was, I think, eventually bought out by Warner Music. And then she was the first female A&R person at Atlantic. And she wrote a tell-all. And because of legal stuff, she didn't even put 90% in what she knows, but she and I know each other, so she told me stuff like crazy.
I can't even imagine.
The people like crazy, insane 3-ways with young pop stars, with music executives. You had to do it, and if you didn't do it, look at Keisha, whatever her name is.
Kesha.
Yeah, awful model.
Justin B. I mean, I think that this Puff Daddy, P. Diddy thing just scratches the surface of all of this. And the thing is too, it's like, again, like I look back at this life I kind of wanted to have in film and music and everything. When I first moved to New York, this is Michelle Gump now. I used to hang out in Wyclef's studio all the time because I had a friend who was doing an album with Wyclef and his two brothers. My friends and his two brothers were on his label. And so I used to go and like hang out there all the time. And everyone was always so nice and so like lovely to me all the time. And this is Wyclef Jean, if anybody's at home being like, who's Wyclef? But like that was the exception to the rule, I think. I think as like a young 22-year-old girl going and hanging out at a recording studio a couple nights a week in a different situation, had that, person not been my friend or whatever, could have been a very different scenario. And I think about, again, how many young girls, I mean, again, like who's to say like how many people my age were in the Harvey Weinstein, world that never spoke up. I think we know this. The vast majority of young women who were victimized by him and others have never said anything, have just stayed quiet.
Well, I know that's true. I know that's true because I've spoken to some of them. Listen, speaking up leads to two things. One is it is incredibly cathartic if that's the direction you want to go in. Two is it pretty much does ruin your career. So I think for a lot of these women, including a lot of the women, some of the women who publicly said that they rebuffed Harvey Weinstein, they did not. They just didn't want to be dragged into this because they saw what happened to Ashley Judd, and they saw what happened. I mean, like there are women.
Oh my God, I forgot about that whole thing.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I didn't forget about it once you
Yeah.
said it. I was like,
What
right.
was her name? Servino?
Mira Sorvino. So Mira
Sorvino.
Sorvino.
Oh my God,
Listen,
that poor
look at
woman.
Mira Sorvino. Mira Sorvino's father was Paul Sorvino. So it's not like she didn't know the industry.
Right.
Paul Sorvino was some Goodfellas and, a well-known actor before he passed away. She won an Oscar. So it's not like she's some little starlet who doesn't have any power, right? She had just won an Oscar for Mighty Aphrodite. And then she rebuffs Harvey Weinstein, and he tells everybody, and this always happens. This is exactly what happened to Ashley Judd. Same thing. She comes from the Judds. It's not like she came out of nowhere, right? Like she didn't come from the Judds, but her mom and her sister were obviously big celebrities already. And she was a star, literally starring in movies. It's not like she was trying to break into Hollywood, starring in blockbuster movies. Both she and Mira Sorvino, after they rebuffed Harvey Weinstein, the word went out, they're difficult to work with.
Right. That's all
Difficult to work with. So don't hire them because they're difficult to work with. Oh, you don't want to bring them onto your set. They're a little difficult.
She's a little diva. Like
she's a little difficult.
Who does she think she is?
She's a little difficult. Like, I don't know. This happens all the time.
All the time.
All the
You
women
can't really argue with that kind of subtle.
Well, all the women at Fox, and I can say this, right? Like when I was there, women would just start disappearing. People who were really prominent anchors would just disappear. And you're like, what happened to her? Like she was just here last week. Like first you think they go on vacation for 2 weeks. And then after a month, you're like, wait a second, I haven't seen Michelle around in a while. Like, where's she been? And the answer was always the same. Oh, the ratings weren't so good. She didn't get her contract. Renewed. She didn't get her contract renewed because the ratings really weren't good. And so that word goes out to other networks. Well, you can't hire Michelle. The ratings, the ratings at Fox aren't good with her. Like if Fox could admit, ratings by sitting around and picking their noses, then that means that something's really wrong with this woman. Well, it turns out the New York Times that proceeds to do a whole expose on these women whose ratings weren't good. Every single one of them complained about Bill O'Reilly. And was paid off with an NDA, sent into forced arbitration, given a couple of bucks, and disappeared.
There is no such thing as cancel culture. There just isn't.
Made to disappear.
He's got his
none
own
of these
show
women.
now.
None of these women is back on TV. Not one. Bill O'Reilly is on News Nation every 5 minutes.
It's looking like a skeleton and looking terrible.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but that's, by the way, that's why I will never go News Nation. News Nation, stop calling me. Never will I go on your network while you platform people like this. Ever. News Nation is the Antichrist for anybody who wants to watch it.
Yeah, and also like they just love their little I gotcha interviews and stuff. Like I'm like not a fan. I used to deal with it with my old boss, and like they try to trap people and stuff. I can't. But not to do a total 180 here, but I'm gonna. Speaking of networks that I do love QVC. Do you guys love QVC?
I don't ever watch QVC, Shelley. I'm sorry.
I haven't watched QVC in many a year. However, there is a clip that
I can't wait to see where this is going.
We haven't seen it, but you've been teasing it to us, so now we want to see it.
There's a clip that's gone super viral in the last couple of days.
Okay.
Somebody had a little bit of a slip up on QVC. It's gone viral on like every platform. I think it was last night. QVC was like, you know what? We're going to get in on it. They posted the clip on their social. And I was like, you know what, QVC? Okay, I see you. This is very funny.
Okay.
So let me just play this. They're selling
I cannot wait about.
They're selling a wig. This is what happened.
Love to show the texture and this wave pattern. Again, it looks like you went and got a blow job at your blowout at your salon. Oh my God. And it looks beautiful.
All right, so here's what's happening today. We're having a huge beauty sale. Everything ships to you for free, but that goes away at the end of the day. I will remind you that this is a one-time only price where the price goes up at the end of the show, not the end of the day. So we're going to save you $10 plus the free shipping and handling saves you another $5.50.
Did that woman ever come back after she went under the desk?
I don't know, but let's just watch the beginning of it again because it's really funny.
I love to show the texture and this wave pattern. Again, it looks like you went and got a blow job at your blowout at your salon. And
This
it's
is what-
beautiful.
This is what my son just chose to watch.
All right, so here's what's happening today. We're having a huge beauty sale.
Well, she's on the internet. He's probably seen it. So my favorite thing also is that like a lot of like my favorite gay creators are like doing parodies of it. This is by far the best one. A lot of them are like aren't funny. This one's pretty good.
Wave pattern. Again, it looks like you went and got a blow job at your blowout at your salon. Oh my God. And it looks beautiful.
All right, so here's what's happening today. We're having a huge beauty sale. Everything ships to you for free, but that goes away at the end of the day. I will remind you that this is...
That's amazing. So it was live TV when she said. And so I don't watch QVC. The way that they flipped and they suddenly had her.
That's a different one.
Woman.
Wait, what?
What's that?
That's a different woman.
Right. There's a different woman there, and you still see the back of the other woman's head. Like,
no, she was under the desk. No pun intended. I don't know if she ever came up. No pun intended again.
Oh, right. So they went to a different camera and they had another woman just like sitting over in a chair, and she was modeling the wig as well. Yes.
By the way, that wig is pretty good for what
it did look pretty good. I was like,
I did not. I know. I was like, can I pull off a really short old lady blonde wig?
Like a little Dorothy Hamill, cut. Yeah. It's going super viral right now. Everyone's talking about this. It has been all over my feed, and I was just like,
who doesn't want a blowjob wig?
All right, Brett, I gotta say,
why is Lawrence not here?
Kudos, my man.
Right. Free shipping is great. What did it say? Sounds like the handling. Sounds like the handling might be worth paying more.
Oh, that woman. I love that she immediately knows what she's done.
Well done, Brett Campbell,
like,
778.
Oh. She's like, I love that we can't see her face and you can only hear her going, oh my God. It's the best. Like, you couldn't write this. You know what I mean? It's so good. I love QVC because they're always just selling ridiculous stuff, and I love it. And it's like, look at this beautiful sweater, and it's like a big sweater that's got like puppies all over it. Like, people are calling in and they're like, oh, I just love it. And I'm obsessed. And also because I watch, if you're a Hacks person, you know that QVC plays such a huge role in that show as well. And obviously that I'm sure has so much to do with how much that character is based on Joan Rivers. Like, Joan Rivers used to be on QVC all the time.
Was she?
Yeah, she's
whatever Joan Rivers did to earn that money. Let me tell you. Have you ever seen Joan Rivers' apartment, which I think they can on
Yes.
That apartment on Fifth Avenue is worth like 30 million, 40 million. Like, I forgot what they were trying to sell it for, but it was
really.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mrs. Rosenberg. She was the head of her co-op board, and her real name is Mrs. Rosenberg. Joan Rivers.
Who remembers that lady who sold the bedazzled clothes on QVC? I think she's still there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my God.
It's like, oh,
probably.
the bedazzler. Like,
what else would she be doing?
Stuff. I don't know.
But again, these people are making a fortune.
So
that
much
bedazzler
money.
woman is probably making more money than anybody.
My Aunt Betty, I had this Aunt Betty. She's my great aunt. You walk into her house and it smelled like smoke, but also trinkets. Hold on. Why is it doing this? Stop this, camera. Stop.
Because you're going this.
Okay. This needs to, hold on a second. Hold on. We're gonna reframe.
There's a Heather Locklear QVC segment on SNL. Gotta look this up.
Oh gosh.
I don't remember that, but I'm sure it's brilliant.
This is very annoying. There we go. But yeah, anyways, you'd walk into Aunt Betty's house and she'd have these like trinkets and stuff like everywhere. Like, there's ladies like my Aunt Betty who would just, sit on and like order stuff and just cough into the phone. And there's all different kinds of stuff online too that I found that was like parodies of people calling in with like men in wigs, like acting out the call. It is the funniest shit. I love QVC. Like as much as like Vegas is like the crossroads of America, so is QVC in like every way possible.
So can I tell you? Can I finish my
I can
crazy Vegas experience? Because this
Yes.
was such a fucking nightmare. Sorry, I don't mean to curse.
Oh yeah, let's come back around. We heard about the spheres and your sons
Here's
love
awesome.
Vegas.
But then we get back on the plane to come home because I was there literally to give a 20-minute speech. And we get back on the plane. The flight's supposed to be 2:30. They're like, oh, it's delayed because you can only land a certain amount of flights in Newark because apparently Newark Airport's a third world airport where you can't land flights that are scheduled to land there. So then that gets delayed for 2 hours. This guy comes up to, so as I'm trying, they're giving away, like, they're like $2,000, $1,500 if you take the next flight. And I was like, I got to get home. I don't care if you give me $10 million. So as I go up to talk to the guy at, like the desk, this guy comes up with this crazy accent. He's like, I need to get on this flight. If I don't get on this flight, I can't, you can't even imagine what's going to happen to all of you. And I was like,
what?
Oh no.
And the guy's like, sir, calm down. And he's like, you don't even know what's going to happen to you if I don't get on this flight. And
My God.
So then I try to calm him down. And I go, sir, they're not telling you to get off this flight. They're telling you that the flight's delayed. I don't care. You don't know. My mother's going to die any minute. If I don't get on this flight, you don't know what's going to happen to you.
Oh, okay. That is really sad.
Wait, it gets worse. Well, I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
So then the cops show up because this man's literally.
Well, it's threatening.
Right.
Yeah.
Threatening, right. So I was like, well, I'm not really comfortable getting on this flight if this guy's threatening, like, to take the plane down.
Right.
So then they're like, the flight has to be delayed even further because now it's too hot for the airplane to fly. So we need 15 people to volunteer to get off this plane to like avoid like the heat. I'm like, what is going on? The crazy guy's still threatening to take the plane down if he doesn't get on the plane. The cops are doing nothing. And then they're like, we get on the tarmac and they're like, we get in line to take off. The crazy guy's like sitting front row. I'm like, okay, is this plane gonna like, are we literally putting this like crazy terrorist on this plane? Like, was like literally threatening to take this plane down? Okay. We get on the tarmac to take off. And then the captain's like, oh, we have to get out of line because New York's still not ready for us. So then we sit in some like random part of the airport. And then as we're about to get back on the tarmac, oh, we can't take off. The president's here. So now the entire airport is shut down. So now
Delta Sky Lounge real quick.
There's no Sky Lounge on the plane. And it wasn't Delta, it was United. God help me why I ever agreed to fly the stupid airline. So Delta, plus they charge you for the internet on United, which never works. And so now we're waiting for Trump to get the hell out of like the airport. So that was another couple of hours. Anyway, we land at Newark Airport at 2 a.m.
No.
2 a.m.
No, in Newark.
In Newark. And wait another half hour for an Uber. And then the Uber driver is like, decides he's going to take the scenic route back to New York City. And I'm like, I know New Jersey really well. I'm like, sir, where are you going? He's like, oh, this is a shortcut. I'm like, this is not a shortcut.
No.
I'm like,
do you know who I am?
Right.
Do you know my Jersey cred? I know every shortcut between here and New York City. This is not a shortcut. Yeah. So we got home at like 3 a.m. So Michelle, the reason I didn't respond to your texts for the last 2 days is because I've been catatonic.
I've never flown in or out of Newark Airport. I don't ever plan to.
Really?
It's not nice, is it? I heard it's
no,
like
actually,
the one.
No,
is it better now?
They've done, yeah.
Okay, because like LaGuardia used to be terrible.
LaGuardia is not beautiful.
Right, until didn't Joe Biden call it like a third world country airport?
Yes, and then
Andrew Cuomo freaked out. He's like, the hell it is. And now it's like the most beautiful airport.
I gotta give Andrew Cuomo credit. When he wasn't busy harassing women, he was doing a lot to help infrastructure.
I love LaGuardia Airport. I love it so much. I love that in the Delta terminal, when you check in, you go directly to your left and the Delta Sky Lounge is right there. And I can go in there and drink all the drinks and because I don't like to fly, guys, and this is why I'm saying this, I'm not an alcoholic, but I can go and take my little Zanny and I can put my feet up on a couch and drink wine until I feel really loose, and then I can just kind of jaunt down to my gate. I'm having a great time. I love it. It's fantastic. LaGuardia.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I found that clip. I just want to show of the other QVC that is like my favorite thing.
Lift her hair back. Did you see the difference of this hair?
My God, yeah.
Look at that. Is that gorgeous?
It's beautiful.
Now
I
let me
can't.
look at the back. I am telling you, this hairspray is amazing. Now, do you love my plump and thick?
I keep like 8 cans at a time.
Oh,
together.
girl, let me give you a kiss. That is good. Mwah. That one's got it. Whoa! I fell on my booty.
Thank you.
No, I'm okay.
Oh my God. And you know what, Gene? 3 times before the show, I said, Nick, you're going to fall off that set sometime. Oh my gosh, you scared me to death.
I scared myself to death. Now you know what a real clown I am. Anyway, we'll go back to this. Now watch. We'll pretend this didn't happen.
Okay. Gene, thank you so much.
Thank
you.
I
Plump
love
and
the
thick?
internet, man.
Plump and thick.
I got 8
Also, did you
cans.
see that hair?
Plump and thick.
Did you see how plump and thick the back of her hair was?
I have to give credit to the hairspray. That hairspray was.
It was looking good. It was looking
It was
good.
plump and thick.
It was
indeed.
plump and thick.
Yep. It's like the wow spray, you know. It's like it gets it done. Um
Wow.
QVC, I'm obsessed with QVC. And first of all, I love the internet for creative people because like in a pre-internet world, I never would have seen these clips. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
Thank you, and thank you for that. The Devin, it's Devin Poole from the last clip as well. It's just like so funny. I'm like, I just
Oh
can
my God.
scroll this shit all day long, and it just makes me laugh.
So
which
Michelle, I think
yes.
we should watch the SNL one that somebody said we should watch. I've never seen it with Heather.
Oh,
Locklear.
we actually, SNL is very, very,
Oh,
very
they'll
strict.
copyright strike you. Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
just take the whole video down. So
Yeah.
I trust me,
Yeah.
I always check and I'm like, what can people show and what people can't?
Yeah.
SNL is really weird about it.
Yeah.
But yes,
Damn.
yes, hilarious.
It's the Heather Locklear one. I'm going to go find it.
Oh,
after.
Text
so
it to you,
good.
Dana.
So
Text it.
good.
Yeah.
So one of the last things I actually wanted to mention, speaking of, well, QVC might have the bedazzled fashion, which women of America really seem to love. But the Met Gala is held on the first Monday of every year. And it's to raise money for the Met Museum, and it's become this whole thing. And then there's always a theme, and there's always this stuff. So they just announced. Now again, Anna Wintour is like what? She's like the head of the thing, and then do always ask a person. So last year it was stupid Bezos. What's her name? Jeff Bezos' wife was like
Yeah.
Lauren Sanchez Bezos.
whatever. And this year is going to be John Galliano, who is a designer. Now, remember I said a few minutes ago that cancel culture does not exist.
Not for people like that.
Not for people like this. John Galliano, first of all, and there's another clip where I have this rabbi did CBS LA and was talking about this, had been considered in the past to do this. And they were like, you know what? No, unacceptable for what the things that he's done. And I'm going to show a video about this, and it gives a good explanation as to why this is terrible.
I'm scared.
But in
Focus on this, Dana?
2026,
Oh.
Anna Wintour's like, you know what? It's okay to be a bigot. Let's do it. So this creator put together a little explainer as to why John Galliano being on the like steering committee.
No, it's
like,
not steering
head of-
committee, Michelle.
or
They're-
whatever. It's like the head of.
the theme is
Yeah.
John Galliano. He's the only third living. He's
Yeah.
the third living designer who's being honored this way.
Yeah, like
the
this is
biggest
like the
honor
biggest
possible.
thing, right? And
This is
Anna
like the Oscar
Wintour-
of fashion.
Anna Wintour is she's the editor in chief of Vogue, not anymore, but you know what has been for The Devil Wears Prada was based on her. She has a history of warming up to very problematic people. And she's doing it again. So I'm just going to play this clip so everybody can just know why this is a big deal.
Of Hitler. That is what John Galliano said in this infamous video that is supposedly the moment of his downfall. Now, whatever you think about the fact that he is going to be the subject of the next Met Gala and exhibition at the Met Costume Institute, there is a major problem with how this single unfortunate rant is being talked about. Because we, the public, are being asked to forgive him without being told everything that really happened. So So I'll tell you instead. In 2011, John Galliano was found guilty of racist and anti-Semitic abuse and was fined 6,000 euros by a court in Paris. But this video, where he was caught on camera telling two women, "I love Hitler and people like you would be dead. Your mothers, your forefathers, you would all be f***ing gassed," was not what he was being charged with a hate crime for in court. Instead, he was facing charges for not one, but two separate incidents that happened beforehand. The first was in October 2010, when a woman says he sat down next to her at a bar and called her a fucking ugly Jewish bitch. The second came in February 2011, when he sat down next to a woman named Geraldine Bloch at the same bar and called her a Jewish cunt and told her she had a dirty Jewish "you should be dead," and spewed in total 30 anti-Jewish insults in the span of 45 minutes, while specifically criticizing her clothes, hair, thighs, eyebrows, and makeup. Her friend, Philippe Vergiti, told the court that Galliano also called him a fucking Asian bastard, "I will kill you." So why is it that when Anna Wintour talks about it, when this rabbi who led him through this process of making amends talks about it, when Galliano himself talks about it, this is all referred to in the singular, not the plural? It was a rant, a moment, a disgusting thing, when that is simply and utterly not what happened. These are the 3 rants plural that we know about. At best, it shows that these people have very clearly not sat down and taken the time to really understand what he did. And at worst, it's obviously knowingly misleading the public. Now, there are at least like 8 related topics that we need to talk about at some point when it comes to all of this. But let me just say, for the moment, what I find especially pretty gross is how many people have jumped in and started making posts about how we should forgive him, how we should move on, without knowing at all the litany of things that really happened, okay? You are all leaning into this toxic ass narrative that has been a part of the design industry for generations, that you can do and say whatever you want as long as your work is accepted as beautiful.
Which I think you could say for any artist, whether they be music or film or anything. So much gets forgiven because, you know, we must separate the artist from the art. And here's just a quick clip of a rabbi who was interviewed about this on CBS. LA.
Your initial reaction when you heard that the Met was honoring Galliano?
Enormously disappointed. Enormously disappointed. And I think this is the most salient point I can share with you this morning. Honoring Galliano was also considered in 2024, and the Met decided to pass on that opportunity. Now, let's assume he is a repentant individual. Fine. He was as repentant in 2024 as he is in 2026. So what's changed between 2024 and 2026? Certainly not Galliano. Our country and the world have changed. And in my assessment, the Met determined in 2024 the reputational risk of platforming a former, perhaps repentant Jew hater was too much. They have clearly decided now that the reputational risk in 2026 of platforming such a person is 0. In other words, Jew hatred has become normalized even in the epicenter of America and the epicenter of American culture. And I think that should alarm us all, that this kind of racism and hatred is now normalized and acceptable.
That's what I was going to say. Do you feel like this normalizes something? We follow the headlines almost daily of the rise in anti-Semitism, rise in hate crimes against Jewish people. What does this do for fighting against that hate?
This, I think, endangers all of us. Endangers all of us, because you're next and you're next. And we should all worry about that. We should all worry about our neighbors. But we also should worry about our own selves and lives and our own security and acceptance in this culture. And what's happening here is enormously dangerous, that the reputational risk has diminished to such a degree that we're platforming former, perhaps repentant, and unrepentant people filled with racism and hate.
Okay, can I just say something about this? He's not repentant, because that incident where he called those two women a Jewish C word and a Jewish bitch was after he had already apparently gone to study with a rabbi and had apologized and so on and so forth. So that was all for PR purposes because he continued to do this. So I'm not sure that this rabbi who just spoke is even aware of that history, but the reality is John Galliano is not repentant. It was a PR move, and that was that. I'm going to just say this, and I am a nobody, and my platform is not that big. Anybody who shows up to the Met Gala in May of next year, if John Galliano is still being honored, I'm going to haunt you with whatever little platform I have for the rest of my life. Because you are platforming an unrepentant anti-Semite at a time when hate crimes against Jews, who constitute 10% of New York City's population, are over 50% of all hate crimes in New York City, the place where the Met Gala is being held. Shame on the Met, shame on their board. Anna Wintour, I don't want to say shame on her because she's disgusting.
No, she's...
Anybody who shows up to this, all of you, the same people who typically show up, and whatever excuse you come up with, because you want to be seen and be seen on the steps of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in May of 2027, you are enabling anti-Semitism. And if he had said what he said about Black people or Latinos or anybody else, nobody would ever rehabilitate him. But it's okay because no Jews, no news. And at a time when anti-Semitism is through the roof, and I don't care what your views are in Gaza or Palestine or anything else, as a Jew living in New York City, it is a terrifying time to be here. If you are platforming somebody like that now, it is because you find it acceptable to be part of Jew hatred at a time when Jews have not faced this kind of hatred in my lifetime. So fuck you, Anna Wintour, and preemptively fuck you, anybody who shows up to the Met Gala in 2027, if this is what happens.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yep.
Flip that, Julie. That was...
Flip it. Because, like, here's the thing. When I first heard this, I was like, wait, no, can't be. And for anybody at home who I understand this point of view of being like the Met Gala, like, what is that even? Like, who cares? It is, whether you care about it or not, whether whether any of us, how we feel about it. Fashion is a multi-billion-dollar industry that affects so much of our country and the world, to the point of that whole rant in Deborah Wears Prada, where, that sweater was chosen for you. The cerulean sweater was chosen for you by the people in this room.
Much like the algorithm that you're reading right now, by the way.
Exactly, which Julie has an incredible Substack that it lives rent-free in my mind, because it's just such a perfect analogy. But it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that is like then also showcasing some of the biggest names in our culture, not just Hollywood, sports, politics. These are culture leaders. Tech.
The Bezos,
all of these people. Yes.
Were co-chairs of the gala last year.
These are the people who are giving millions of dollars to sway our elections, to take our rights away. Like, that's why all this stuff matters.
Yeah, we know that the culture moves the politics, not the other way around.
And Anna Wintour, having left Vogue, got a promotion. She is now the, I forgot her exact title, but basically, for all intents and purposes, the head of Condé Nast, creative content.
Yeah, like content, right.
Really?
Yeah. So, the Devil Wears Prada 2, where she's up for this big promotion and the guy dies.
I just watched it the other day.
Yeah, in real life, Anna Wintour got that big promotion. So she's now Condé Nast, Vanity Fair, The New Yorker, Vogue, all of these big culture-making places. I mean, The New Yorker is, I think, better than the New York Times. I mean, if you want to know, like, the best kind of magazine out there, I would say it's The Atlantic and The New Yorker.
Yeah.
She's in charge of that. Not, I don't know, she's in charge of it, but she's got her hand in that. She's got her hand in the food, whatever their food, magazine.
And Condé Nast is a huge universe.
Condé Nast is a huge universe. And by the way, shame on the new houses who own Condé Nast.
I know.
Like, shame on you. You're Jews. What's wrong with you? Why are you allowing this? Like, do you not think they're going to come for you? Like, truly, do you not think that they're going to come
I
for you?
don't think that a lot of these people do.
That your
actually.
money's going to protect you?
Right.
That is, I think that's it. I think it's power and money thinking that it's going to protect you, or proximity to power, or any of these things. It's like proximity to whiteness or the white patriarchy and things like that. It's like, no, I'll be fine because, but the thing is that in the end of the day, where it's not. And, this is so much more than just like, the Met Gala sucks. Like, this is so profoundly wrong on so many levels. And again, to that rabbi's point, in 2 years, they went from, no, he's not culturally acceptable, to, yes, he is culturally acceptable. And what has changed in the last 2 years is this rise, like extreme rise in anti-Semitism. And again, like, it doesn't matter how anyone feels about Gaza or what's happening 6,000 miles away, because this is happening here at home. And this is right in front of our faces. And, our Jewish friends and neighbors and family are in trouble and in danger here, and normalizing this kind of hatred and saying, you know what, it's okay. It's the same thing. I mean, not the same thing, but similarly to how we say it's okay to rape women, and it's okay to do all of these other things to this group of people or that group of people. Forgivable. It's not forgivable. It puts everyone in danger. It puts everyone in danger beyond Jews, to that rabbi's point. It will be Black and Asian and women, and it's just like queer people. Where is the line? Where's the line? And where's the line in our culture? Where is the line in our politics?
Right.
Where are the line?
Where has decency
lives?
gone and propriety
Correct.
gone? Like, no one should be able to speak to that, speak like
Exactly.
that to another person
No.
with impunity.
I mean,
let
this
alone
was like
reward.
in a court of law. This man was taken to court for multiple instances, in addition to the one that everyone else seems to talk about that was on camera. As this like white, person whose family's been here since 1600 and something or other, and like Irish and all this, like, I look around and I'm like, what? I don't understand how anybody hates another group of people. I just don't get it. I wasn't raised like that. I've seen it. I think we've all seen it in our lives around us. Some members of my own family are problematic for that very reason.
Mine too.
Right. And I'm just like,
Jews and all.
Right. I don't understand. And so, we will stay on this. It's August 8th of 2026, but we will stay on this. We will not let this go. As May of next year comes along, we will continue to not forget about this and to hold people accountable.
And Anna Wintour has this whole thing about, I rehabilitate people. I don't believe in cancel culture. Okay, listen.
If someone canceled her, she'd die.
Listen,
like she would die.
She rehabilitated, and rightly so, I think, Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife, right? She platformed Marquesa at a time when all the celebrities were boycotting Marquesa because that was Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife's, or at the time, wife's, Georgiana Chapman.
And all these celebrities were bullied into wearing Marquesa.
Right? And so, I think Anna Wintour liked Georgina Chapman, and she was like, I'm going to rehabilitate her, bring her to the Met Gala, and maybe, and then you had, I think, some celebrities wearing Marquesa just to show support for Chapman. I'm cool with that, right? Because we have no evidence whatsoever that Georgina Chapman was anything other than a victim of Harvey Weinstein as well. Like, we don't know, right? Like, but the woman was at best, she was cheated on by Harvey Weinstein, right? At worst, God knows what happened. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is rehabilitating somebody who Anna Wintour believes is deeply, deeply, deeply talented and platforming him like that. And listen, I like Wagner, right? Wagner was an unrepentant anti-Semite. He was Hitler's favorite composer. And I don't have a problem with going to Wagner music, and I don't have a problem with playing Wagner music. I do have a problem if Wagner was still alive doing that and platforming Wagner as like some huge musician, right? Like, the guy's dead. His music lives on.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between that and somebody. And then they meet with all these rabbis in New York, including, and by the way, also the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt. You got to go away, the head of the ADL, who's like, well, I think he's repented. And no, he hasn't, because he went ahead and did this shit again.
Jonathan Greenblatt should go into
Jonathan
politics.
Greenblatt should go away. It's just,
like, just go into politics for all his
yeah,
bullshit.
I mean, like whatever.
honestly.
But there are all these rabbis who he met with, like some of whom I know because they're pretty prominent kind of, New York City rabbis, and I don't know them personally, but I know their names. And they're like, well, we kind of were worried that we're being used as a fig leaf. No shit. No shit. It's like having a racist meet with the NAACP and then be like, well, I met with NAACP. I met with Al Sharpton. I met with, when Jesse Jackson was still alive, I met with Jesse Jackson. So I'm not a member of the Ku Klux Klan. And like, shut up. And you're being platformed?
Right. You're being honored. I'm not just platformed, but you're
honored.
Honored.
The biggest honor you can give a living. I mean, I think there were two others. He's the third, because apparently Anna Wintour is obsessed and said the best show she's ever been to was his show, and for I forgot for who, for Yves Saint Laurent, whoever he was doing.
Didn't he make that newspaper address, Galliano? Isn't that him?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, my point is, like, he was, the best show. He's the most. I don't give a shit if he's the second coming of Coco Chanel (parentheses Nazi).
Also a Nazi.
Nazi (parentheses Nazi lover). But
Nazi spy.
Yeah, Nazi spy. Like, but still, I don't give a shit. You don't do that. You don't do that. Not that I could afford Chanel, I would not have worn Chanel while Coco Chanel still owned the house. Now, fine. But not when she owned the house.
Which, by the way, I was on the Real Real last night just scrolling, and even used Chanel bags for like $6,000. I'm like,
oh no, I know
for this.
But yeah.
Anyways.
But my point is like you don't do that. You don't do that. It's just I don't know. The whole thing is just it's just demoralizing. And at a time when anti-Semitism was through the roof, all the things. And once again, my friends, it started all tale as old as time. It starts with the new Jews. It does not end with the Jews.
And women.
Yep.
And women.
Yeah.
And we can do a whole separate thing. And Dana, I would love to do this with you and Julie, just about what's going on with little girls in sports and how they used the trans panic in order to what they're doing in the state of Washington, and like what's going, like you've got something on your ballot, and it's just I can't. We should do that on a whole other day. But yeah, I mean, all of this is
you mean all the genital checks they're going to be doing on all the
which
young
again,
girls?
by the way,
I'm sorry, they're doing that in Washington State.
It was on the ballot. I'm sure it didn't pass, but I have to admit,
I
I'm
think
not
it's
sure.
going to be on the ballot, right? That's what I had read.
Of all the places,
And
my
I could
God.
be totally wrong though.
Well, you have to remember Washington State. Seattle is extremely populous, so we sway the whole state. But if you leave Seattle, other than, I mean, Bellingham is liberal, like little cities.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like every state.
it's like every
New
state,
York.
right? We're
Yeah.
just very populous, so we take over.
Yeah.
But there are a few wealthy troublemakers. Tim Einman was the worst one for a while, and I think he's finally like gone. But there are some wealthy troublemakers who get ballots on the initiatives on the ballot. They just have to get signatures. So let me see here, like trans.
From what I understood, this was like an amendment to an already existing rule or something in order to
Yes.
make it more extreme. And essentially, basically, I think we all knew this. The trans kids in sports panic, which I understand even like just moderately minded people who are like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why would that? What this is, they're not inspecting little boys' bodies.
No.
They're inspecting little girls' bodies. And this is all like, oh, because we have to protect the girls. We have to protect the girls. No, they're not. This is about taking little girls out of sports, taking away their opportunities to what Title IX has given them. This is about undoing Title IX, because what parent in their right mind is going to allow their kindergartner, and by the way, this is kindergarten through 12th grade, is going to, if this passes, require physical inspections of genitals of kindergartners to prove that they are girls, in addition to blood and hormone tests.
I found the link here.
This is insanity, but it's also not new. because Julia, I remember last summer we talked about this on a couple of our shows about measuring.
Oh, I wrote a whole thing about this. Oh yeah, they're measuring the size of girls' clitorises. I mean,
like,
I don't have a daughter. You do, Dana. Would you ever allow anybody to look at
over my dead fucking body?
That's my point. So then
over my dead fucking body.
So a little girl can't win. You
So
either
your
go in
alternative is your little girl can't play soccer.
Either can't play soccer or is then traumatized. And like, and you know, let us not forget what happened with women's gymnastics in the United States with Larry Nassar. But like, even just beyond the predators in the exam rooms, the exam itself to a little girl who's done nothing wrong, to be put in a room being made to prove her gender and be physically examined at that tender age should be so illegal. And this is where, like, Gen X and millennial dads, girl dads, you were the most movable portion of that age group, is these girl dads. And this is one of the biggest issues that can be moved. The needle can be moved.
Yeah.
And I beg you, if you are a girl dad or if you know girl dads of that age, of any age, fight for your little girls, because this is coming way outside Washington. This will not stop. This is a Project 2025 thing. Like they look at what's happening in the military with Pete Hegseth. This will not stop. There is no end to this.
And John on Substack made a good point, which is the genital checks are also used disproportionately against Black teen girls because they are quote unquote stronger or quote unquote more muscular or don't adhere to quote traditional standards of femininity.
Yep.
And then John says it's disgusting. It is disgusting.
Where comes in with the thinness and all the other stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you look at Serena Williams. She's a big girl in the most muscular kind of way. I remember when I was back in my trying to get really skinny Fox days, I was working out 24/7, and I said to my trainer, I go, I want Michelle Obama arms. Like, all I want in my life is Michelle Obama arms. Michelle Obama has the best.
Yeah,
she does have the best arms.
Yeah, and my trainer said to me, I'm so sorry. It doesn't matter how much you're going to work out, you're never going to get them. You just genetically, you can't get Michelle Obama arms, right? Black women apparently have a better, whatever reason, ability to do that. So they're going to come after Black women because apparently they can, like, that's what I mean. This whole standard.
How many people on the creepy side of the aisle have accused Michelle Obama of being trans?
Being a man.
Look what happened out literally on the lawn of the White House. On the lawn of the White House. And like, it's not going to end. We have a new CDC director who said that, like, chasing down and hunting down women in the United States who have abortion is top priority. There are 80,000 flock cameras invoked by the state of Texas to find one woman nationwide, these flock cameras, one woman who had an abortion. Yeah. And so, they're now talking about travel, and Todd Blanche was caught on tape talking about this, trying to stop women from traveling out of the country, and would have to prove that they are
not pregnant
or not. So, not to go down like the dark, but I think we should do a separate thing on this where we talk about this. I think it's such a huge issue. And
it's on the ballot in Washington, November 3rd there's two initiatives. I just got the numbers here, so I wasn't speaking off the cuff. IL 26001 is parental rights, and IL 26638 is K through 12 school athletics.
Yep.
K through 12.
Kindergartner.
I don't want to be overly optimistic. I doubt that these will pass in Washington because people in Seattle are going to come out and squash this. I hope everybody in this blast radius who's in Washington, you know what you need to do.
But
this is where we need people putting money behind this.
The very fact
we have to vote on this.
That you have to vote on this. The very fact that they got enough signatures to get this on the ballot. It's not like you just wake up and put something on the ballot. Enough people. I don't know how many.
I just saw the dickhead's name. Hold on. Let me find it again.
It's
His name.
Crazy. Like, what are we talking about here? And by the way, if you're some conservative.
Brian Hayward. Brian Haywood is his
Well,
name.
I don't know if Brian Hayward has daughters, but I don't care how right-wing conservative you are, right? Unless you don't think that your daughters should be playing sports at the age of 8 or 5 or whatever age you want them to play sports. Like any kind of sports, kickball, all of it. You really want some stranger looking and measuring the size of your daughter's clitoris? Like, seriously?
Can you even fucking
That's
imagine?
that's not even a liberal. That's not even like me being like some woke liberal, whatever.
Right. Big government. Big government.
Government. You want
Except for
somebody
that.
pulling down your daughter's pants and measuring her vagina?
So disgusting. It's like not even.
Like, are you kidding me? That's
yeah,
where
this is,
that's where I
he's
get
a
second-
hedge fund founder and multimillionaire.
Of course.
Well,
and
you
he
know
has
what?
spent millions to put conservative initiatives in front of Washington
Does he have
lawmakers and
kids?
votes.
Yeah.
Does he have kids? Because honestly, like,
don't know.
I'm not a Second Amendment person, but that's when I would get a gun and make sure that nobody comes near my daughter.
Yeah. He spent $11 million. Yeah, the whole language around parents' rights measures. I just wrote a little essay about this on Medium where I write kind of short form of like, what a creepy term, parental rights. Because your first instinct as a parent is to be like, well, of course I have rights as a parent. But it is always some shit like this. That like some crazy conservative talking point, like, oh yeah, that seems completely reasonable. Let's have all of our daughters drop trow in the elementary school line.
That's not parental rights, right? That's not parental. That's the opposite of parental rights. From
I
my
know, but that's
perspective-
how it's getting.
No, I know, but think
Yeah.
about this. Like, some stranger is going to be measuring.
Some stranger who's like hired by a school or something to like, usher your kid into a thing and be like, oh, look around. I mean, the whole thing is so traumatizing to even just think about. Like, again, making a little girl be touched by someone she doesn't know for reasons she doesn't understand.
Bingo, Michelle.
Having not done anything wrong, and will carry that experience with her for the rest of her life. It is abuse. This is abuse.
Yeah.
And the trans kids in sports was never about trans kids. They were the easy target for a bigger plan to control the bodies and futures of little girls, because they're going to say, well, then don't play sports then. Just go learn how to sew. Go to home ec, learn how to cook.
Right.
By the way, is
Right?
this billionaire going to pay for the therapy these girls are going to have to go through for the rest of their lives because some stranger checked out their...
Even if it's someone they know. Like,
it's awful.
To qualify for sports, we need to look at your junk. Yeah, he does have 3 kids. He and his wife
they'll go
raised
to
their
private
3
school.
children on a 40-acre ranch in Redmond, Washington.
Right.
After moving his business from California in 2010.
Well, Redmond is where Microsoft is. Is he a Microsoft guy?
Probably.
He's a hedge fund guy, but
Oh.
yeah, it's Easter, like, just so let's try this again. The Seattle area has Lake Washington to the east.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are 2 floating bridges over it, and Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, all those cities are on the other side of the lake. They are less liberal than Seattle. They're purple. And so he's on that side of the lake. He's on the east side. We would
Think of
say
it
he's
like
east
Rockland
side.
County.
I'm
All
west
right.
side.
Well, I got to go because I got to take my son to squash game.
And just really quick before you go, because we did promise people this. If you have not read this yet,
Oh God, yeah.
it has been reported via government documents about this weaponization for government thing. I forget exactly how, but it is. And she commented on her Twitter about it and said that she was a staffer when it happened. She had a relationship of sexual nature, Katie Miller, Stephen Miller's wife, with ex-Congressman Eric Swalwell. OMG. And I just want to remind people, this is a report from late last year, that classmates of Katie Miller's revealed her scary Mean Girls past. Yeah. It's wait, hold on. Other classmates remembered her as a social climber obsessed with social status. She was someone who was very interested in befriending others for status, more so than being a friend. She would drift towards whoever was in control or popular or whatever, a friend to many, but not really a good friend to any. She wore juicy couture tracksuits. Effectively,
That's so specific.
so specific. Effectively, the popular girl in high school uniform. She was very Valley girlish. Without the California accent. One of her classmates said, "You're never surprised when you hear about something bad that Katie Waldman did." Yeah. So just, cool. And it says here in People Magazine, because People Magazine,
hard hitting.
Julie's favorite place where politics are reported. Once it makes it to People Magazine, it's in the zeitgeist. This is a source close to Katie tells People that she was exactly the type of woman that Eric Swalwell was accustomed to targeting during the relationship. Katie, at 22 at the time, and a congressional intern, exactly the type of woman that Eric Swalwell was accustomed to, seemingly confirmed the report herself. I was an intern working on Capitol Hill before the stint at Doge. Katie worked as a congressional staffer and aide to Vice President Mike Pence. And of course, now we know that she had left her job recently to go work for Elon Musk, in which there were more rumors about her and him. And then she just had a fourth child with Stephen Miller. So, I'm
going to say this, state your unpopular opinion. I actually am going to defend her on this. She was an intern. He was a member of Congress.
No, that's wrong. Is wrong.
No excuse. I don't care how ambitious she was. It's what they used to say about Monica Lewinsky. She just
I know.
No excuse. No excuse. The power
She's
imbalance.
a horrible human being.
She's a horrible human being, but the power imbalance is
But the fault there is his. Yeah.
The fault there is his. And I don't care how ambitious she was or how available she made herself to him. Shame on him. It's gross. Okay. On that note, not speaking of, because this has nothing to do with it.
I was like,
you gotta go get your kid to squash.
Speaking of, I gotta go get my son an internship. No, I gotta get him to squash.
Oh my God.
Ew.
All right, I gotta go. So good to see you, ladies. Love you.
So good to see you guys too.
Bye. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.